Long ago, in a bustling Arabian city filled with fragrant spice markets, lived a young boy named Aladdin. He and his mother had very little to their name, but Aladdin had a kind heart and a singular focus. He wanted to find a way to give his mother a better life. That dream seemed to materialize one scorching afternoon behind him. The next morning, the man led Aladdin far beyond the city limits and deep into the unforgiving desert, stopping only when they reached the entrance to a hidden, magical cave. The stranger gave a very specific set of instructions. Aladdin was to go inside, walk past the glittering mounds of gold and jewels, and retrieve one specific item, an old, dusty lamp. He was warned not to touch a single other piece of treasure. Aladdin carefully navigated the cavern, found the lamp resting quietly on a stone, and hurried back to the entrance. But as he reached the surface, he hesitated. Sensing something was wrong, he asked the man to pull him out of the cave before he handed over the prize. The man instantly dropped the kind uncle act. Serious at the boy's defiance, the wicked magician chanted an ancient spell and slammed the heavy stone doors shut, leaving Aladdin entirely in the dark. In an instant, the promise of family and fortune dissolved. Aladdin was betrayed and buried alive underground, which raised an immediate, terrifying question. Why was an old, tarnished lamp so valuable that a man would entomb a boy in the desert to get it? Alone in the pitch black, Aladdin noticed a faint glow. The magician had left behind a sparkling ruby ring. Curious, Aladdin slipped it onto his finger, accidentally rubbing it in the process. Instantly, a massive spirit appeared, bound to serve whoever wore the ring. Terrified and desperate, Aladdin pleaded to go home. Without missing a beat, the genie of the ring swooped Aladdin out of the cavern and set him down safely in front of his worried mother. Safe at home, they examined the old lamp he had risked his life to retrieve. Thinking it looked completely worthless, his mother began to polish it. A massive swirl of blue smoke filled their small room as an even more powerful entity, the genie of the lamp, towered over them, ready to grant any wish. Aladdin knew exactly what he wanted. He asked the genie for a magnificent golden palace, complete with elegant halls, silk carpets, and devoted servants to ensure his mother would never have to struggle again. Within a single day, Aladdin went from wondering if he could afford a handful of dates to overseeing a household that could feed half the city. But the sudden influx of wealth didn't corrupt him. Instead of hoarding the gold, Aladdin spent his days in the city streets, distributing his riches to the poor and proving his character remained exactly the same as when he had nothing. That genuine kindness caught the eye of Princess Jasmine, who often walked the streets in disguise. They quickly became friends, fell deeply in love, and were soon celebrating a grand, joyful royal wedding. But word of this new prince reached the faraway desert. The wicked magician realized Aladdin had survived. He traveled back to the city, disguised himself as a street vendor, and began shouting an irresistible offer through the streets. He was trading brand new lamps in exchange for old ones. Hearing the commotion, Princess Jasmine spotted the dusty lamp sitting quietly in the palace. Wanting to surprise Aladdin with a new one, she unknowingly handed the source of their entire fortune straight over to their greatest enemy. The magician didn't hesitate. He rubbed the lamp and ordered the genie to teleport the entire estate and the princess to a distant, barren desert. When Aladdin finally returned to his home, he discovered that his magnificent golden palace had instantaneously vanished into thin air. An empire built on a magical artifact carries a fatal flaw. When your power is entirely tied to a physical object, it takes only seconds for someone with bad intentions to take it all away. Without the lamp, Aladdin was stripped of his primary defense, but he chose to act rather than despair, turning to the only tool he had left, the ruby ring. He rubbed the ring to summon the giant spirit and used his second wish to teleport straight to the desert. There, he found his stolen palace and saw Princess Jasmine being forced to serve the wicked magician. Knowing the ring spirit's power was limited, Aladdin had to use his final wish carefully. He didn't wish for gold or a new kingdom. He wished to remove the magician from the story entirely, banishing him to a faraway island where he could never hurt anyone again. With the magician gone, Aladdin reclaimed the brass lamp. He summoned the blue genie one more time and asked him to carry the palace and Jasmine through the air to materialize right back where it belonged. Aladdin and Jasmine resumed their lives together, ruling their kingdom, but they spent their time spreading kindness and helping those in need, choosing to rely on compassion rather than endless magical wishes. The lamp and the ring provided the means, but they didn't provide the motive. While the magician used magic to steal and control, Aladdin used it to protect and restore. This story shows that while artifacts can grant wishes, they cannot grant character, and it was Aladdin's integrity that ultimately determined where the palace finally stood.